Abundance. Abundance, 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 abundance. How often do you hear the word abundance? Because I hear that word quite often in the community I'm in. What is abundance? What is abundance, and how do we feel abundant? How do we feel abundant in our day-to-day lives? Well, the reality is that we are already abundant. It's not something that's out of our reach and something that we don't already have. And that's the trick of the trade, is that the reality of the situation is that there is literally no disconnect from us and abundance. There literally can't be. There's literally no way that we cannot be abundant. We are naturally abundant beings that come into this earth being abundant. Like, look at our bodies and look at all the capabilities our bodies alone have. You cannot disconnect yourself from abundance. The only way you can disconnect yourself from abundance is by telling yourself that you're not abundant. It's like, even if you told yourself you're not abundant, you're still abundant. Still, even that logic can't apply. There's literally no way that you can disconnect yourself from the abundance of the universe. There's so much abundance around us that we're almost becoming numb to the amount of abundance that is around us. It's like, when we speak of abundance, we have to go back to very fundamental truths, like the universe. Looking at the universe and seeing the grand entirety of the universe, do you really think that there's a lack of? Like, let's be honest. Do you really think there's a lack of? In my personal opinion, I think that the universe is constantly and will forever be expanding. And if something is infinitely expanding, how could there be a lack of? How could there be a lack of literally anything? The universe and this earth and everything around us is what abundance is. Our bodies are abundant. The fact that our bodies function in the way that they do is abundant. Everything around us is abundant. There's literally no way we can disconnect ourselves from the abundance in the universe. No matter what you go through, no matter how challenging, how difficult, there's literally no way that you can disconnect yourself from abundance. You can feel it emotionally more, I think, in some moments more than others. But I think a lot of it comes with being deliberate. Like, literally just reminding yourself, like, oh yeah, I am abundant. Honestly, I shit and piss in purified water. So, what do I, like, that in itself is abundance. The fact that I have clean water to drink, the fact that I have eyes to see, the fact that I have fingers to feel, the fact that I have a mind are all amazing examples of what abundance is. You gotta think about, what is abundance? It's a lack of. There's literally no way that abundance cannot exist. Abundance is literally just accepting the fact that there is so much out there that there will always be more. There's always going to be more. There's always going to be more than we think there is, period. Same with applies with, like, just logic. You'll never know everything there is to know, and that's just a fact. It's just a fact. You'll literally never know all there is to know. You'll literally not know everything there is to. You won't learn. You won't listen to every song. You won't eat every type of food. You won't go to every place on this entire earth, every city, every town. Like, that in itself is abundance. Imagine, just think about that for a second. We live so much of an abundant life that we literally cannot experience, even on this earth, everything that there is to experience. There's literally no way we can, because there is just simply so much. There's simply in excess. There's simply more where that came from. And there will, like, forever and always will be more where that came from. Like, we cannot disconnect ourselves in this life away from I don't know you can believe in what you want to believe in what happens after this, but as of right now, all we know for a literal fact is that we have more than enough. And anybody telling you that there's not more than enough is not looking farther, is not looking at the grand scheme of everything and all of what is. Because you might feel alone. You might feel really alone in a lot of moments in your life, and it's really easy to think that nobody cares. It's really easy to think that you're the only one that's ever felt that way. It's really easy to think that nobody's coming to save you. Nobody's here to help you. But in reality, it's almost like contradictory, because there's literally no way that you could live your entire life without running into support. There's literally no way. No way. There's literally no way you could live this life without having experienced love. There's literally no way you can go through this life without experiencing a massive amount of abundance. There's literally no way you can move through this life without running into someone that wants to help you. There's literally no way that we can avoid being abundant. The only way that we I feel like we're so programmed to think that, there's not enough money. For one, money isn't what we're even trying to search for most of the time. I think people say they want money, 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 but in reality, we really just want peace. We want to feel loved. We want to feel appreciated. But even with money, like, there is plenty of money to go around. There is plenty of money for me and you and the next person to have what they want to have. There is plenty of money to go around. There is plenty of food to go around. There is plenty of water. And this is why it's so frustrating, because we see people that don't have access to it. And it's like, literally, not the fact that we don't have these things. It's never been about the fact that we don't have enough water, we don't have enough food. It's just about a whole nother list of things that justify us not wanting to give water to those that need it. Or, that's obviously very vague, but I'm just saying, in general, there are people on this earth that don't have water, and they, when you kind of live from a point of having a lack of, you don't realize that there's so much water out there. Like, when you grow up in an environment where you don't have something, you grow up and you think that there is not enough of that out there. Just because you didn't have something doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. Just because you don't have $1 trillion doesn't mean that $1 trillion doesn't exist, does it? Because that money exists somewhere, that water exists somewhere, that food exists somewhere. How do you find it? You stop looking for it. That's the ultimate answer. You just stop. You start realizing that, oh, I already am, like, I'm already more abundant than I can even fathom. I'm more wealthy than I can me and you can't even comprehend how insanely abundant we are to be alive. How lucky, for one, it is to be alive. And I feel like luck and abundance, I think luck is what people think abundance is. Also, luck is also inherent. Like, there's literally no way that you can live your life without being extremely fucking lucky. And that's it's the biggest pet peeve when people call themselves unlucky, or like an unlucky streak, or I'm unlucky. No, you're not unlucky. You're actually extremely lucky. Everything you've ever done is extremely lucky. The life that you live is extremely abundant. And it's just a matter of a mindset shift. And sometimes that's all it is. Sometimes in order to feel abundant, it's literally telling yourself, hey, I'm abundant. Like, I have eyes that can see. I was born onto this planet. Somehow, some way, that's pretty freaking abundant, honestly. I'm abundant in the way that I can have teeth to eat things. I'm abundant in the way that I can go to the grocery store. I'm abundant in the way that I have eyebrows and I have eyelashes, and I'm abundant in the way that I have lips, and I have the ability to see, the ability to hear, the ability to walk. You know, it's really easy to take those things for granted. But when you really look at them, you realize that that is God's abundance. That is a universe's abundance. Like, abundance is having more than enough. You already are so abundant just by being alive. You're abundant by what's all around you. Like, even now I look at just my room right here. I have a blanket on my bed, I have sheets on my bed, I have pillowcases, not just pillows, but also pillowcases. I also have lights, I have decorations. Like, in this room alone, I am extremely abundant. Sometimes it just takes you looking at what's right in front of you and being grateful for it. I feel like we're wanting to, like, earn something. You don't have to earn abundance. You don't have to earn love. You don't have to earn luck. You don't have to earn anything in this life. All you have to do is show up. Like, all you have to do is exist, and all of these things are for you. All of these things are already who you are. All of these things you don't have to go out and try to get. You don't have to go out and try to achieve and earn and work for. Anyone who's telling you that don't work for it is not probably making all that much, because we see now, like, the most wealthy people around are the ones who do very, vibe enhancing activities. Like, why are we saying YouTubers and TikTok creators make so much more than doctors? It's because it's not about abundance. Is not about how much work you're putting in. Some people are literally born, we know this, there are people that are born into massive amounts of wealth. And even me, I could say I'm born into wealth simply because I have a roof over my head. And just simply for the fact that I have water and I've always had food. Like, that in itself is so abundant. And we forget that so easily. We forget that. We always think that, there's always more. We always want more, but think about that for a second. The fact that you want more is a living proof that there's always more. The fact that you are desiring more is literal proof that you can have more. The fact that you desire these new experiences, this money, this da-da-da-da-da, is literally a prime example of abundance, and the fact that there's always going to be more. There's no way we can't have more. It's like change. It's like there's always going to be change. Things are always going to be changing. People are always going to be changing. Life is always going to be changing. Same with abundance. There's always going to be more. There's always going to be more goodness. There's always going to be more light, more love. There's always going to be more to look forward to. And I think it's just so easy. Like, it's easy to forget that we somehow magically appeared on this planet for some reason, even if there is no reason. The fact that we're here right now in this world, breathing air, is quite literally a miracle. And if you ever feel lost or feel like you're not connected to that part of you, just remember, how did you get here? Ask yourself that and ponder, how did I get here? And start to really, like, I don't know, I think about this sometimes. I'm like, how did I get here? How did I end up in this body, in this life, in this moment? And just thinking about the fact that that's even happened is insane, is literally mind-blowing. And if we can tap back into our power and how powerful and how abundant we already are, and the fact that we do not have to do literally anything. We don't have to earn, we don't have to please, beg. We're already abundant. We already came into this world naturally abundant creatures. We already came into this world, we came into a world that I think it's pretty clear that there's always going to be more. There's always going to be more to learn, more to experience, more to have, more to love, more happiness to feel, more experiences to have. Like, think about it right now. This is one day out of the rest of your life. Like, you don't know what the hell could happen tomorrow. You don't know how much more joy is waiting around the corner. You don't know how much of whatever is laying around the corner. And that is amazing. And it's literally always a surprise. It's always a surprise because there could always be more. There literally has to always be more. And that's what the universe is looking for. I feel like, why people's manifestations come true is because they recognize that the fact that there is more and that there's enough for them. That there's enough for them and there's enough for you and there's enough for that guy and there's enough for all of us. There's far more than enough to be happy. Forget money. There's far more, there is enough happiness and joy to go around for everyone. We do not have a lack of joy and happiness. We do not have a lack of that. And that's ultimately what we really want deep down. What we really want deep down is just to feel loved, to feel appreciated, to feel satisfied. And the more I think about it, the more it just puts a smile on my face, because it's just infinite. Life is infinite. Everything around us is energy. In order to feel abundant, all we have to do is remind ourselves. It's not a game of how do I make myself feel. Well, it is making yourself feel abundant, but it's more of just reminding yourself. Keep reminding yourself, I am very abundant. I am very grateful. I live a very blessed life. And think about genuinely how your life is abundant and blessed without you having to earn anything, without you having to prove yourself in any sort of way. Look at how abundant you are without having to do anything. And that's how you tap into the energy of abundance. Abundance thrives off of abundance. Just like what I said, if you need help out there, don't forget that you literally cannot live the rest of your life without running into help. Doesn't matter where you are, what country you're in, doesn't matter how long it takes, you're always going to run into someone who can help you, who wants to help you. You're always going to run into someone who loves you. There's literally no way you can get through this life without being loved. There's literally no way you can get through this life without being loved. Remind yourself of that. Literally no way you can get through this life without being loved. Literally no way you can get through this life without being abundant. Just remind yourself. It's not something that you forgot. You just need a reminder. Blessings to all, and to all good night.